You're watching the Whole My Brunch podcast, hosted all the way from Sri Lanka. I am Shavi, and I love talking about many things, starting from the life hustle to the biggest insecurities that all of us have. Do you need that Sunday morning coffee or tea with a strong brew? Then this is the right place for you. Stay tuned. Good morning to my fellow Indian Standard Timers, and for the rest of you, hope you had or are having a good day. Welcome back to another episode on Whole My Brunch, and today it is going to be all about dating. I understand this entire topic of dating has its own facets, and it is perfectly alright to hold into different opinions based on experience. Today, I'm off to relate my own experience and what I learned about humans in general. Fun fact, that is radiocarbon dating, which is used to determine the age of an object, and that's not what we are going to talk about today. Also, your girl got a new logo for her podcast, which was designed by 7-Eleven Studios. I honestly feel like this logo is uplifting my Sunday coffee or tea vibe, which is pretty amazing. Also, please follow my designer pal's Instagram, the 7-Eleven Studios on Instagram and on Facebook. On YouTube, I have mentioned his socials on the description. Please check them out. He's an amazing guy to get your designing work done. Right off the bat, I'm grateful of everyone who I have dated, because that amount of anthropology is immeasurable and cannot be learned in any other theory-based anthro class. In the South Asian community, we are encouraged to go ahead with arranged marriage. However, most of our parents have let the freedom for us to find us our mate. And that is constructive to see. Therefore, getting educated about dating with experience does really matter sometimes. If you are new to the dating game, you are very welcome to explore all the possible ecosystems around you. You will find the most unique species scattered in this biodiversity hotspot. I mean, don't get me wrong, you aren't technically in a biology class right now. But guess what? Dating is a form of getting to know the biology about the people around you. There are some grassroots level basics if you're a new player or a player who is kind of experienced but want to experience a little bit more. And I would actually compile them to a quadrant of points forming a quadrilateral, instantly changing its shape. Wow, that is some geometry, yeah? Yeah, that's definitely some geometry. First point, which is dating is complicated. Yes, it is quite challenging to find a partner. I have been there and I'm still there. I have also realized this to the point of actually discovering it by myself. Remember those days at middle school, we were thinking of Disney-esque fantasies like getting married at 23 and probably a kid at the age of 25. I hope most of us are facepalming right now on such throwback stupidity. People always say there's a plenty of fish in the sea, but as we gradually experience, most of them turn out to be mere baits or not really the one that we actually need to date. Here comes to the second point, which is dating is not ideal at all. It's just like all of us as human beings. The tendency to compare and contrast is very real in our South Asian communities. I spoke in regard, especially the small world the South Asians are stuck in my last podcast episode, and go check it out if you haven't already. Some of the brown relatives and neighbors are quite interested in this process. Imagine you're dating a person and gradually it's getting the process of being serious because you see both of you are actually vibing to each other. Once the dating news somehow gets into the ear of such a relative, look out for all the questions coming in. So she is a bit dark-skinned, yes? Why not try whitening treatments? He doesn't even have a bachelor's degree. Oh, poor creature. How will he actually progress as a family man? You know what? She's from a lower caste and you would probably regret your decision. Okay? This issue also comes within the couple or the prospective couple. I once came across a guy just like that through a date who actually started giving out his primary criterion, which is the dowry. This was just a first date. And imagine talking about a dowry. For those who aren't aware of the term dowry, it is essentially an amount of fixed assets which includes real estate, furniture, and other worldly goods brought by the bride to the husband. I know it's a lot for this point, but it's worth taking note of it. Accordingly, please embrace the diversity and don't be judgmental with your societal ideals. Because to begin with, you are not perfect, I am not perfect. Third point. Dating is a give and take. This very give and take process is pretty dynamic. If you and another is involved in the dating process, make sure you both are equally investing in it. It's not at all good when one is too much invested or way less invested than the other. With that equal investment, you both are righteous for an equal gain. If you're dating, it should not be a forceful one where one would be potentially carrying the entire weight of the relationship whilst the other is chilling as if nothing has been happening. Here comes the fourth point. Dating is fun. It definitely is something to enjoy without having the need of disappointing all the time. Trust me, you may fail at establishing a good relationship, yet you are proactively learning about humans day by day. This world is a mixed salad. You never know when you are going to find the sweetest orange or the most poisonous herb. So, dating got you covered in a little bit of a foraging at least. Next, we are going to move on to the most interesting part of today's episode. I'm excited to list down the 10 types of people I've dated. Yeah, 10 types, that's a lot, I understand. However, these 10 types themselves, I understood the anthropology of people, like how they actually work when it comes to relationship, or even as a single human being. On top of that, these are actually not necessarily the types of people, but I would rather say types of personalities. Essentially, a person would actually get a combination of a few of these personalities, which I will be mentioning in a few minutes. Number 1, the know-it-all, which is obviously the most annoying type of all of this. Just like what it means literally, these are the people who try to prove themselves correct all the time without attempting to learn what they don't know. These people tend to lie about themselves so much by blowing their own horn to the point of hiding their actual spirit. Being genuine is a key in dating, but all know-it-alls I have dated in the past have never expressed the real happiness in themselves for a lot of mutual things and interest. Number 2, the passenger. Now, here is that personality who tries to get their work done through your sole talent. Why passenger? Because you technically drive the vehicle, which is, in other words, you are used only as an ulterior motive in that person's terms. You are not a person to them, but more like a vehicle to reach their destination. Later, you know what will happen? They will drop you off on the way, as if nothing happened. Ever faced a first date which never split the bill? It's just similar to that craftiness. Number 3, the jealous hermit. Now, this is the personality who spreads professional jealousy to their partner as vigorous as a Californian wildfire. To the outside, they maintain their status as calm as a charisma of a hermit, but when you look into their mindset, oh my goodness, it's totally the opposite. Whenever you try doing a new thing, it could be a new position at work, or starting off grad school, or starting off a creative venture, or anything. If the other one is looking at it as a mere competition, it's about time you should let it go. Dating never involves a contest, and that's a golden rule of thumb for a better relationship. Number 4, the dictator. In this situation, only their opinion matters, and your opinion is not even a slice of an onion. Such personalities pose threat to your mental health, so my dear, now you know what to do. Number 5, the pure pessimist. I have seen this very common among a lot of South Asians. These personalities have no idea on what constructive feedback is. When you present them your idea and you are eager to listen on their feedback, the only thing they would say are probably about the blunders you have done and not a tad bit of an appreciation. Why so much negativity when you can appreciate a little bit? Number 6, the weird one. There is always this person I have encountered in dates who relates me the stories or answers to my question way out of reality. Imagine there's a conversation like this. You are curious on how they worked all the way up to who they are. And you get a reply like this. You know, I'm very brutal in nature. Nobody can handle me. I'm brutal for most of them, except for the people I love. And that's how I made myself up there. Understand this thing. Trying to be badass very badly is not a way to go. Trust me. That is going to bore you for the entirety of your life. Number 7, the degrading machine. Remember number 5, the pure pessimist. Sometimes this personality will contemplate on that one mistake in their evaluation and will go forward degrading you in the most inhuman ways ever possible. Yes, this world is vicious, since you would potentially find such resource people actually teaching us lessons about humans and their typical ways. That's why I identify them as resource people or resource person. Number 8, the timid bunny. This personality is completely afraid of everything. A little bit similar to the number 5, the pessimist, but the clear-cut difference is that person never thinks a little bit far ahead. It doesn't have to be miles or yards away. Sometimes when dating, or at least doing some sort of a life core, at least thinking about the next millimeter matters. The timid bunny will never attempt to do so. Instead, we remain in the same comfort zone without thinking about the other's potential and actually supporting for it. Number 9. The narcissist. The personality may look externally appealing, but the interior is an extreme mess built up with loads of ego. That individual may possess the best stature ever, but their inferior mentality evaluates people based on the external appearance. All endless complaints will probably come in form of a parental complaint, like this. My mom saw you in a photograph and she said you were too fat and too dark for me, so I think we got to call things off for good. In such people, their external appeal is merely a weak shield for their massive big head basal insecurity. The last but not the least, number 10, the complaining sandwich. Definitely, there's this personality who is into too much of complaining. It's pretty similar to a never-ending migraine. I'll leave it at that. Through sharing my experiences in a nutshell, I just want to say one thing. I never believe in the concept of soulmates. You may see on Facebook and among the so-called Instagram influencers, a lot of couples smiling and saying, "He is my world, she is my everything." I mean, a couple is never one, as they say. Dating involves a lot of common sense, and being naive doesn't make sense to the average adult. Essentially, a partner cannot be your world or everything. In a monogamous relationship, you and your partner are two different people. Also, a lot of people pursue for other people with similar ideas. Trust me, you can find people with mutual interest, but not similar ideas. Hence, the existence of the current world with diverse backgrounds of people. As per my exposure, dating works by identifying each other's opposite ends and respecting them, accept them for who they are. Dating is not forcibly changing your partner to some artificial robotic object. It's always the mutual respect that matters. Alright, my family, that's a lot of dating real facts for today. But wait, I have another dating fact, which sounds uncanny. According to Match.com, the famous dating site, it has been found that 29% of singles prefer a partner with an iPhone. I mean, real talk. Don't be that stupid to determine your date's eligibility based on a single piece of tech. But wait, there isn't Bluetooth on iPhone, so how about an Android in that case? Haha. On next week's episode, I'll be talking about women, their powers, and their insecurities. I personally believe that women have a lot of things to share because sometimes things may seem a little bit different from our end. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you enjoyed a lot on this episode, and I would love to hear more and more of your dating stories and how it actually works. And you could actually follow me on Facebook, which is the Whole My Brunch Facebook page, and on Instagram, which is also named Whole My Brunch, and also on YouTube, which is Whole My Brunch YouTube channel. Please make sure to stay subscribed and click on that bell icon. Yes, that's how they say in the YouTube videos almost all the time, right? So yeah, makes sense with that. And also, another happy news, my podcast is now featured on Apple Podcast and a few other platforms, which includes Spotify, Overcast, and a lot of others. Yeah, you could definitely find them through the anchor.fm link, and also on the description box on my YouTube channel for each video that I'll be posting. since the last week's one. Yeah, I hope you have a great week ahead, and I can't wait to meet you in another new episode on next week. Till then, goodbye.